to repair as John Deere pledges to allow more openness for farmers to be able to repair their own equipment. We'll hear from Nebraska Farm Bureau leaders who think it'll drive innovation, while others still want a law on the books. Plus, some turn to urban agriculture to put food on the table as egg prices rise. And with a farm bill coming, Pete Ricketts heads to the U.S. Senate. We'll have reaction. And we hitch up draft horses for a fun ride. It's time to grow. Farmers invest tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars into a single piece of equipment, but sometimes say they lack the right to repair it, something a new agreement may address. Breakdowns in the field cost time and money, but do-it-yourselfers find it hard to repair modern tractors because of the software and diagnostic codes.
Our ability to actually do repairs ourselves has been compromised.
Nebraska's been at the forefront of the right to repair movement. And the state's Farm Bureau president joins John Deere, signing a memorandum of understanding, giving farmers more flexibility.
All farmers have a choice of where they get their equipment repaired, whether they repair it themselves or have an independent repair shop do it, or go to the dealer like majority of farmers do currently.
Deere says its local dealers remain the first line of defense, but agrees to provide access to tools, software, and documents.
The actual nuts and bolts is the customer gets to decide. So whether the customer wants to do it themselves, have an independent repair shop do that, or work with their local dealer, that is the customer's decision.
Deere acknowledges machinery is a major investment.
And the opportunity for them to maximize the uptime of that equipment and minimize downtime is an important area of focus for our organization.
Mark McHarg, a corn and hog farmer from central Nebraska, thinks the agreement will spur new innovation.
We can develop tools and software, third party, to repair this equipment, and that's a really big statement.
The state has attempted to pass legislation guaranteeing the right to repair. Farm Bureau leaders say it's been tough to achieve, as they instead now work directly with Deere. Some farmers, though, say that's the wrong approach.
I would much prefer that Nebraska, or honestly any state, were to pass this. That would hold John Deere's feet to the fire.
Others say it's now on John Deere to uphold its end of the deal. As part of the agreement with Deere, Farm Bureau leaders agree not to support legislation at the state level, while other groups say they will continue to press for a legislative fix. Another advocacy group says it may be a step in the right direction, or it could be a stall tactic to take the wind out of the sails of state legislation. The Public Research Interest Group says it won't stop pushing right to repair legislation, quote, until farmers can access every wrench, bolt, diagram, diagnostic readout, and software file. Like Charlie Brown, farmers have lined up for the kick too many times to let Lucy pull the ball away again. The deadly avian influenza has been reducing poultry flocks across the country, and that's reflected in the price of eggs we see at the store. Now some turn to other alternatives. NTV's Rochelle Ventura reports.
Currently, the national average cost for a dozen eggs is over $3, with some people paying over $12 for the 18-pack. As consumers and businesses see the increase in egg prices, there's also a shortage at the grocery stores.
There's no eggs. We're sold out of eggs. And I need to go this way, guys. I need to move that way.
The main reason for the shortage is the recent rise of avian flu cases.
You have to destroy all those chickens, and you don't have near as much eggs. So you have that good old-fashioned supply and demand. More demand, not as much supply, so got to raise the prices.
The situation is making some people choose other alternatives.
People are, buying a few chickens, just enough to feed their family and maybe share with neighbors.
Others are supporting local producers, but some farmers are also seeing the impact of inflation. The Nut Family Country Market, for example, saw the need to recently raise their egg prices to $4 a dozen.
That's the big issue right now, just the cost of everything. It just as simple as down to the carton. Per carton, the feed, the bedding, it's just outrageous.
The Tri-Cities have different laws for those thinking on producing their own eggs. In Kearney, people are not allowed to have chickens within city limits. In Hastings, no more than 6 hens are allowed for each single-family home. And in Grand Island, the laws are also different.
You can have chickens in Grand Island, but you have to have a minimum of 1 acre. So the lot that your home is on has to be a minimum of 1 acre. And then you can only have 4 hens per 1 acre. Roosters are not allowed. If you have the minimum lot size, you can have hens, but you cannot have roosters.
According to the Consumer Price Index and the Bureau of Labor Statistics, egg prices jumped nearly 50% in 2022. They say until inflation conditions improve, expect to pay more for eggs. Reporting in the Tri-Cities, Arisol Ventura.
And a reminder to be careful with your eggs. That avian influenza outbreak, coupled with higher feed, fuel, and labor costs, have all helped to double egg prices over the last year. The national average for a dozen hitting $3.59 in November. The U.S. Senate campaign starts now as Governor Jim Pillen appoints his predecessor, Pete Ricketts, for the U.S. Senate, saying electability and the ability to keep agriculture at the forefront were some of the chief priorities in that decision.
But it was clear the person for the job is Senator-designate Pete Ricketts. Thank you, Pete.
A week after leaving the governor's office, Pete Ricketts was back. With his family's blessing, the former governor now heads to the U.S. Senate, where he will serve the next 2 years and then intends to mount back-to-back campaigns.
Running statewide elections and winning statewide elections in 24 and 26 is rigorous and demanding.
Government can work. That's what I intend to bring to Washington, D.C.
Governor Jim Pillen had more than 100 applicants and interviewed 9 finalists. Pillen says Ricketts is making a 10-year commitment to serve.
No matter who calls him to become a vice president of the United States, who calls him to become secretary.
Very flattering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pillen says it was important the next senator shares his conservative values of limited government and an understanding that agriculture drives Nebraska.
Governor Ricketts has demonstrated he's learned a lot about agriculture. I think I can still beat him on a shoveling or a pitching contest, but he's learned a lot.
Ricketts supported Pillen's campaign both financially and in other ways, but Pillen rejects talk of a backroom deal to buy a Senate seat.
Integrity of the process and the commitment to the process was the highest priority.
And with Senator Ben Sass's early resignation, Pillen said it was important that Nebraska quickly gets a senator who builds seniority.
This is an unexpected opportunity. I am humbled and grateful for the great responsibility.
Senator Deb Fischer seems eager to welcome Ricketts to the Senate and said he'll be out across the state listening to Nebraskans, something Ben Sass was not known for. Ricketts spoke highly of the former senator, saying he'll continue Sass's work.
Nebraska is what America is supposed to be. And it's never been truer at any time in our history than today.
We could have ended up with 2 Senator Ibaws, State Senator Teresa Ibaugh and her husband Greg, former state egg director, a farmer from Sumner, Nebraska, among the 9 finalists. Governor Pillen says he interviewed 9 candidates, including a former state senator who ran against him in the gubernatorial race and the chairman of Pinnacle Bank. Former Nebraska Egg Director and USDA Undersecretary Greg Ibaugh telling NTV in a statement, quote, "I appreciated the opportunity to discuss my qualifications with Governor Pillen. I emphasized my egg credentials and relationships across Nebraska, the nation, and on Capitol Hill, especially in light of the reauthorization of the Farm Bill. I wish the best for Senator-designate Ricketts." And Nebraska cattlemen weighing in, quotes, from historic property tax relief to countless trade missions abroad, Governor Ricketts has proven a track record of supporting Nebraska's beef cattle industry. We look forward to working with him in his new role, as he will be a strong voice for beef producers in our nation's capital.
NTV's Grow Weather is sponsored by Acres Equipment, solutions for every field. Acres has what you need to get the job done.
Unfortunately, some of the worst drought in the U.S. right across our part of the country, especially down in Kansas. This week, 99.5% abnormally dry, 84.5% moderate. Severe drought in Kansas, 68.75%. Extreme drought now up to 57%. And the exceptional drought area, 38%. Nebraska, on the other hand, 99.75%. Moderate drought, severe drought, 84%. Extreme is 45.25%. Exceptional drought is at 10%. As you can see, northeast Nebraska and a couple of areas in the southwest. As far as long-term drought is concerned, we see the 3-month outlook, at least, not giving us much hope. Temperature-wise for January, normal temperatures, the western 2/3 roughly of Nebraska. Normal temps also in the northwest corner of Kansas. Otherwise, temperatures are expected to be above normal in eastern Nebraska and most of Kansas. Precip outlook above normal for almost the western northwest 2/3 of the state, or northwest half, you could almost say. Equal chances are normal precipitation elsewhere in Nebraska and all of Kansas. As far as the outlook for temperatures, normal temperatures expected for January, February, and March for both Nebraska and Kansas, but below normal in the precip category, except wrapped around from the Panhandle, northern eastern Nebraska, and eastern Kansas. Normal precipitation expected in those areas. For the week ahead, for Martin Luther King Day tomorrow, a slight chance of snow in the morning. A cooler day than what we saw today. A high 42. Then we kind of stair-step down and then back up to 35 Wednesday. We'll be watching a possible winter storm entering the region by late Tuesday night. Temperatures, though, overall pretty close to normal for this time of year. Normal highs are 36, normal lows 15. Our average this week will be 38 for a high, and 25 will be our average low. And the proverb, if the trees are frosty and the sun takes it away before noon, it's a sign of rain or snow. Well, some of the fog of late has created some frosty looks in those trees. We'll see if the proverb holds true as well. That is your Grow Report for this week. Join us again next time when, once again, it will be time to grow.
Whether you're attending a draft horse show, maybe getting ready to do some calving, or some other work around the farm or ranch, we want to see your pictures. Go to our website and chime in.
Ag Innovations is sponsored by Acres Equipment, solutions for every field. Acres has what you need to get the job done.
Draft horses display power and grace. It's thunder on the Prairie. Mighty horses rumble.
Thunder and the pounding of the hooves as they go around.
A combination of power and precision.
Majestic.
A spectacle unlike any other.
Gives you goosebumps when you watch them go by.
It just takes your breath away.
It's no wonder draft horses have been a draw in Grand Island. But scheduling changes meant the Nebraska State Fair was unable to host them. Bonner Park has been hoping to fill that void, while draft horse hitches have been looking for another venue on their way to Denver.
There actually was a need to kind of have another winter show that would line up with the National Western Stock Show in Denver, and so we just thought that the industry really needed that.
Thunder on the Prairie was born. Many know these barns well. Others drawn by a new event.
So we're excited to be here, our first time ever at this facility. It's beautiful fairgrounds.
Gary Miller grew up around horses and now works with a team out of Canada.
It takes a lot of training at home to get them to perform like what you're going to see here.
They should have a lot of action or animation in the lift of their legs.
Hitches compete in various classes during the 3-day event that's a competition for the horsemen and a show for those who attend.
Something you'll never forget, and it's a great experience.
And if you missed it, they hope to make it an annual event, so maybe you can just catch it next year. We'll see you back here again next time as we see how agriculture makes Nebraska grow.